Hello, good evening and welcome back to In The Know, brought to you by the Racing Post and Boyle Sports, as we look back at day one of the Cheltenham Festival 2026, which is a sentence I never thought I'd say. Genuinely thought it was just going to be years and years of talking about the same horses and never seen them actually run. But when the Supreme actually jumped off, I think the roar was more a roar of relief that we were finally there and seeing it happen. And what a great day it was for British novice hurdlers. What a great day it was for mares, for the people who make cheek pieces. Lovely day for them, that's for sure. And long-term handicap chase plots, that worked out quite nicely as well. And why bother looking at the Fred Winter when every single year only one race seems to matter, and it's a 4 or 5 runner run around over at Naas. It is the Cheltenham Festival, and it did not disappoint today. And of course, Lossiemouth in the race that everyone wanted to see her, and she did not disappoint. The supporters out there, she was on the heels of the leaders, and as they turned into the home straight, there was only going to be one winner, and she careered away to beat her old rival Brighter Days Ahead, because, as Graham Rodway would say, it was her day. Plenty more to talk about before we get stuck into tomorrow, where we'll find out whether the purveyors of cheek pieces work a second time with Mansborough in the champion chase. 487,000 runners in the Turners and just a little bit less in the Brown Advisory as well. These are proper Cheltenham novice races. And again, we're very quick to criticise racing when they get things wrong, but the changes to the festival for the qualifying runs for the handicaps have clearly made a difference, because these novice events are absolutely top-notch. Or in terms of competitiveness, whether there's a top-notcher in there, we will find out. It's certainly a top-notcher right here. It's Mr. Paul Kealy, who has spent all afternoon rattling crossbar after crossbar after crossbar, which, to be fair, for most people at a Cheltenham Festival would be a great start to the week.
Yeah, it would. I mean, I made money, but I've come away feeling absolutely gutted. You know, I've put up 6 horses in the paper. 3 of them have finished second. 2 of them finished fourth. Just near miss after near miss after near miss. Frustrating day.
But again, that's you're just warming up. That's why I'm seeing it.
Yeah, I hope so. I like it when I start getting close, because I normally, you know, you're knocking on the door and normally you smash it down at some point. And
yeah,
I've got 3 more days to do it.
All right, OK. 3 more days for the terrifying image of Paul Kealy smashing your door down. Max a winner! Tom Segal won't be smashing any doors down. His is firmly locked and he never leaves. Hello, Tom. How you doing?
Hi, Ross. Yeah, you can't get me out, that's for sure.
Yeah, look, the sun was out for a bit. The ground quickened up, and yeah, look, it's one of those days where I feel like a lot of on-course punters probably had a great day, because the right horses won in many respects.
Yeah, it was great, wasn't it? I mean, it was hard for having killed, you know, having 3 seconds is as good as having winners anywhere else. I was lucky; I got Car Geese home, so I was sort of, you know, a bit fluky really, because I didn't get much else really. But yeah, it was good. It was good, wasn't it? I mean, as you say, these things, it's really tricky. It's either seems to be the favourite or some really ridiculous one wins, and you've got to find the really ridiculous one if you're in sort of mine and Keels' position, you know, once or twice in a festival, because the sort of middle ranking ones, they don't seem to win. You say the middle of the market don't seem to win very often, do they, at these big meetings? Happened on Sandown on Saturday. I think every favourite won bar one at Sandown on Saturday, and you sort of get these meetings where, you know, competitive meetings, and sort of people know what's been laid up, what's going on. And if they don't win, something completely crazy wins. It's not that Johnny Who was crazy or Holloway Queen was crazy, but they were just ones you could have. Do you know what I mean? There's ones you could land on, but you've got to land on them. And, you know, and it's a hard game. It's a really hard game. I mean, hopefully lots of people back lots of winners, but I'm not sure. It's tricky.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, but again, when we say this, I reckon you could probably go back to every sort of Tuesday night going into Wednesday show for the last 5 years, because we've been doing this for 5 years, Tom. And shout out to James Templey, who messaged me on Twitter. And he messaged me 5 years ago to say, love the new show, hope this continues. And he messaged me earlier in the week to say, I just went back to find this message. It's been 5 years and I'm still watching. So thank God it's still going. So shout out to James Templey.
Good man, James.
Yeah, so that's nice. But, again, Old Park Star, course form. Cargeezy, course form. Johnny Who, course form. Lossiemouth, course form. Madara, course form. I actually looked at Holloway Queen, because I didn't look at that race because it wasn't my kind of contest. No, pulled up at the track. She doesn't quite qualify. But again, same type of horses win Cheltenham races.
I mean, it's the thing is, you're spot on, but the thing is, it's sort of one of those meetings where you talk about things for so long, as you and I know, to our great credit or detriment. I don't know how I describe it, but we've talked about it for so long that you sort of think, I can't really tip Madara. You know what I mean? We all know Madara's got. We can't really tip Lossiemouth. Is she going to run? Do you know what I mean? And so you sort of be forced into other. It can work in your favour. Cargis, for me, it worked in my favour.
Yeah.
Although I think everything turned up on the day, but you know what I mean. You've just got to. You know. I mean, Sober Glory. How many horses would have won if they jumped the last properly today?
Well, and, and look, and that's the thing. Look, and I turned after the Arkle. I stood next to a couple of people, and I turned to them and I said, "Guys, remind me what the name of the game is." And that was key to some of these races. So let's talk about the performances individually, generally today. Again, Cargisi exposed weaknesses that, and again, people, because they want to see a superstar like Kopek de Board and they want to see Lalamba be as good as they hope he is. I reckon you could go back and there's lots of ifs, buts and excuses. Yeah, he's inexperienced, but on the day. And yeah, Lalamba's young and maybe not a 2-miler, but on the day. And then you make a case for a horse like Cargisi, and then you go, yeah, it's a great case, but I just think the others are better. Do you know what I mean? You end up with races like that. And she pinged every single fence. Correct.
I mean, that was the one race I got right today. And I didn't like Lulamba. I made it clear I didn't like Lulamba. I just didn't think he's as good as people make up. He's a bit like Final Demand. I'm waiting to see the really good horse he's beaten, because the time he had a tough task at Cheltenham, he didn't win. Whereas Cargisa's at least won a county hurdle, hadn't she? She'd been there. She'd won a good race. She'd won at Cheltenham. She was second. I don't know. It was second to Madgeborough in the Triumph Hurdle. To me, I think she had at least as good a form as Lulamba over hurdles. Maybe not over fences, but you know, I don't trust those silly trials races. I think the ratings boys massively overrate them because they're trial races at the end of the day. So I was that was the one race I got right, but I didn't think she was a massive surprise. But I thought Sober Glory was the horse I took out of the day, really, because he's been I've written about more column inches about Sober Glory. I just sort of went off him on the day. Why, I don't know. But I thought he was really exceptional today. And I think he would have won jump in the last. I think Kopek might have won. I fancy Kopek to be a really top 2-mile chaser. I think he might win the Champion Chase next year. I thought he was really good today. And then Lossiemouth did what Lossiemouth does around Cheltenham. She just looks totally different at Cheltenham to anywhere else on the planet. So I liked it. I thought it was good fun. Right horses were winning. The right horses were running well. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was like Cheltenham should be and used to be. It's just hard to back winners.
Yeah, absolutely. But we're only 25% of the way through. What did you like about today, and what would you be taking going forward?
Oh God, there's so many that you could take going forward. I think, like the first 3 home in the hurdle were good. I think in the Supreme, I think they're all pretty good.
Mm-hmm. And we've got to for producer Ben's purposes, the fourth is also very good.
The fourth is also pretty good as well. Baron Riley, obviously laughing in the background they are. Jaguar's obviously got himself qualified for the National. Be interesting to see whether he can jump Grand National fences better than he jumped then, because again he's been beaten half a length and jumped terribly all the way around. He's obviously very useful, but he's got to get that sorted. I think Saratoga and Winston Jr. are both up to Grade 1 class. They'll probably go to Aintree or Punchestown or both. They're quite. Lossiemouth was brilliant, wasn't she? She was fantastic. So yeah, there's plenty to take out of it.
Yeah, and has anything that you've seen today impacted the way you're going to be thinking about day 2?
Not necessarily. I mean, you obviously need decent ground horses other than that, because I don't think there's much in the way of soft out there in that good to soft description.
I think the only thing, again, it probably hasn't changed a lot, Tom, but again, I don't want to be too far back again. I mean, maybe the Ultima aside, but if you're on the heels and you turn into the home straight and you kick, you're right in the mix.
Yeah, well, Quebec nearly made all, didn't he? So I wouldn't. I mean, like in the last race, your man Holloway Queen was always up in the van, wasn't he? And it was just, look, you can win. Of course, you can win if you're very good. coming from behind. Of course you can, but it's just harder to do because you make mistakes.
Yeah.
You get in the way. Things happen in 22 runner races. You know, horses fall. You need so much luck if you hold up. Whereas if you're out the front, you don't have luck's. You know, obviously you make your own luck by being out front, but the starts are a bit of a farce. You get out front, you've got a massive chance.
Yeah.
It doesn't got a massive chance, but it gives you a better chance.
Yeah. Agreed. Okay, right. We're going to crack on with day 2 in a second, but also just a shout out to Johnny. You came and said hello. Plenty of people came and said hello today, but I had a good chat to Johnny, and he was a good lad. And also met the legendary Brian Galt as well, who runs Galt Stats, which is just got all the Cheltenham stats you could possibly need, and he's a nice man who's raising money for charity. So lovely to see you too, Brian. As for tonight, we are of course sponsored by Boyle Sports, and if you haven't done so already, then make sure you sign up as a new customer and take full advantage of the offer that will appear. There you go, lovely stuff on screen. Money back is a free bet if your horse loses in the first race every day of the Cheltenham Festival. Lovely stuff. Right, that's the 10-minute review done. Let's get into the proper preview. And if you thought the Supreme Novices Hurdle was a wide open contest, then ladies and gentlemen, meet the Turners. No drama this end is 4-1. King Rasco Grey is 5-1. Ballyfad 11-2 with Sober. Skylight Hustle 8-1. Active Innocence 11s. I'll sort that 12. Sortudo is at 12-1. And it is bigger prices the rest. And no drama this end, bidding to end a Paul Nicholls hoodoo in this event. And again, I think for most of the winter, Keels, you're probably looking at no drama this end and thinking, oh, he might have 3 or 4 decent contenders to beat. But he's actually got 21 rivals.
I know. It's fantastic, isn't it? It's a proper. These first 2 races are a proper throwback to 30 years ago. And it's brilliant that it's happened. Not so brilliant for Max McNeil, who's been trying to have a winner at Cheltenham Festival for ages, and could reasonably be expected. Like you said, 7 or 8 rivals, and that's it. I mean, for such a long while we were saying, well, the Turners will be a much easier race, won't it? And now look at it. So it's really hard. I think he deserves to be fav. But his overall level of form is still a long way off an average winner of a Turners. I think it's 10 years off the 10-year average. So he doesn't set a standard that is so demanding it's going to scare anybody off, and it clearly hasn't.
No, if anything, it's done the opposite. It's encouraged them to come and have a go if you think you're hard enough. And I think probably quite a few of them are.
There's other reasons for it, obviously, because you have all these hurdlers now, the novice hurdlers, they have to run 5 times to get into a handicap.
Yeah.
So
because, Bossman Jack, a horse like him, or quite a few of these horses would have popped up in
low handicap marks, and you'd be well interested in them as well, wouldn't you? But they just haven't got there. And, obviously, Willie Mullins is running plenty. You can bet your life at least a couple of them are running with a view to next year, in one of the handicaps.
Yeah.
Have a look at the track. So it's a fascinating heat.
I noticed what you were pointing out there, because those prices are that's not that market, is it? Because if it is that market, then that means Bossman Jack's still a double figure price, in which case we should call them pon.
Yeah, it's not.
They're all wrong. They're all wrong, Ross.
That must be the overnight prices there, or the anti-post prices. But anyway, so have you just put up one in this?
I have put up one on this, and I always find it strange when it comes to actually seeing the cards. Something else will jump out at you. I mean, first of all, it makes you realise how difficult the bloody beat it is. But after that, something else will look at after you that has come from nowhere. And this one did yesterday, and it seems to have come from nowhere for everybody else as well, because it's Bossman Jack, who was literally 20-1 yesterday evening, and is now challenging for second favouritism. There he is. There he is at 7-1. Would I back him at 7-1 now? He's got to drift back out, I think. You can always wait and take your time. But he just looked like one of those horses that was a big improver. And I know he was odds on when he won at Chepstow last time, but he just won doing handstands and could have won as far as he likes. He's bred to improve over further too. And I think he could be pretty decent. He's the one I came down on. I was not expecting to be sitting here and seeing him, challenging for second favouritism, because he was nowhere near it just a day ago. So it's a strange one.
Yeah, well, when I came in yesterday, you said, one's kind of leapt out at me from nowhere. It's a 25-1. I think it's a bit funny kind of thing, Bossman Jack. So, and again, it's funny, we do plenty of previews and that kind of thing. Tom, I did one last week with Steve Lewis Hamilton, who writes in the paper as well, and he's been he's so price sensitive for all this stuff, and on a preview. People are like, what do you fancy, Steve? And he's like, well, if it was 9-2, I'd back it. But the only horse people get was like getting blood out of a stone. He said, well, I do have this novice hurdler, Bossman Jack, on my ratings. So it's weird. But there's been so many good novice hurdlers this winter that I think a lot of people will have had 6 or 7 horses in this race with notes next to them, but not necessarily thought of them for this race in particular.
Yeah, I mean, you all made some good points there about why it's so competitive. I think another thing is that everyone said that the Supreme was so good that a load of horses defected from that and came in here, which has made this, as Keel says, it's a throwback. I remember when I was growing up, there's a horse called 10 Plus won this race in about 1984, whatever, 1988, something like that. He was saddlecloth number 48. There wasn't 48 runners, but that was his saddlecloth number because they did it from the declarations. There was if you go back and watch it on YouTube, there's hundreds of them, and this is a bit like that. What has happened is, I think, is because the Brits had 1, 2, 3, 4. There's been an overreaction. Yeah. No, maybe not an overreaction, but there's been a reaction to that. And now we've got 3 British trained novices at the top of the market, and the Irish are all out the back now. That might be the case. That our novices are much better than that. But that's the evidence of one race. And like Keel said, I don't know, before, I think the 3 that were first 3 in the Supreme were very, very good. Old Clark Star, Sober Glory, and My Daddy Paddy have been on the radar for that race for weeks. And Ross, as you know, we've been talking about those horses for that race, for the Supreme, for weeks. Some of these horses, Bossman Jack's a very good example. I went to lots of previews. I listened to lots of stuff. Only one person mentioned it, and that's the bloke you're talking about, Steve Lewis, whatever his name is. Yeah. Lewis Hamilton.
Yeah, Steve.
I've never thought of that before.
Lewis Hamilton. Yeah.
I've never thought of that before.
Very similar types.
What did Max Verstappen go for? It's interesting that he's there because, I don't know. I mean, what price will he be tomorrow? 12 to 1? And so,
because the thing is, I had him on the list, and I thought, the horses like Sinatra, I thought, going for the county, he looked like one of those. I thought he might turn up at, at Aintree in a handicap hurdle or something like that, or even a Scottish champion hurdle. Maybe that was my kind of note. Oh, he's an interesting novice for a really good handicap hurdle. So I also think the reaction as well, Tom, is My Daddy Paddy. Obviously, Skelton's got Bossman Jack. Bossman Jack was 3rd in the race that Baron Noir was 2nd in. Active Innocence is for Henderson, same ownership as Old Park Star. So it's even just punters will go, they've got another one tomorrow, and then everyone goes and piles into that. So
that is no guarantee that they're going to beat the Irish here. And I think, from my perspective, I'm Pricewise, so I've got to tip prices. You know what I mean? So when I was interested in Active Innocence, I was very interested in Bossman Jack. I, in fact, had them both written in at 2:30. Then after the race, they're now 7 to 1 and 7 to 1.
Yeah.
So
what's
that's my job.
Because you're right. Because again, suddenly someone's out Pricewise almost before you can even get involved.
Exactly. So my job is to find one that supposedly might shorten. Now, obviously, that's harder in this type of race because those ones might have shortened. But I came thinking that I'll sort that. Good. I think that form's quite good. I thought that the best bump-up performance by any horse last year was by Sortudo when he won at Fairy House, beating I'll Sort That by 12 lengths. Shuttle Diplomacy miles back as well. We all saw they both run here. Oh no, of course they do. I'll Sort That and Shuttle Diplomacy both run here. I thought he ran really well in that Nace race. No hurdles, very heavy ground. Willie Mullins not in form. I'm big into keeping the horses back a bit for this meeting after the ground we've had. So I thought Sortudo and I'll Sort That were just too big on what they've actually achieved. Whether I could be completely wrong and all these British horses might come and be miles better, but I've got to tip the prices. So I went for Sortudo and I'm very scared of I'll Sort That.
Yeah, I mean, those two were on my list for... I didn't quite know they were talk of Albert Bartlett's as well, potentially. But they both turned up in this. The prices have almost stayed static for weeks now, and despite the fact that, I think they've got a big chance. And again, I'm going to say you don't like trends, Tom, but someone did point out on the YouTube chat that you say you don't like trends, but then make a very good trend case sometimes for a horse, which is quite easy.
It's true. It's true. But it's not. I don't mean trends. What I don't like about trends is 5-year-olds in this race, or 8 out of 10 have won from this mark. I don't like any of that stuff. I do like trade trends, is what I do like.
Yeah, profiles of horses, that kind of thing.
Yeah, profiles.
Yeah, okay. And the last 16 winners of this had all won at least one bumper. And there's not that many at the top of the bet who qualify, but Sortudo, Bossman Jack, Al Sort That, and Active Innocence do. So, horses off the flat are 0 from 31 this century. And Sober, obviously, has been the talking horse from the Mullins camp. So yeah, loads of intrigue here. Make a case for a couple of others, or give us a couple of positive others before we move on.
Yeah, sure. Shuttle Diplomacy still has to be interested. He did win a bumper, and he was also third in the champion bumper. So he's finished ahead of No Drama This End. He's finished, ahead of El Cairo. He obviously blew out earlier on today. And the tongue tie does seem to have turned him around since he had that on. He's actually started to look pretty good over hurdles because he was terrible on his first two. So I think he'd have a chance. He was the fastest, the strongest finisher in that bumper last year when he was third. I know he was a big price, but I think he could easily run well again on this ground. And Klimt Madrick at a massive price. He's only beaten a length and a quarter or so by No Drama This End. And he was such a big baby on his first start. He was always going to keep on improving. He's already turned form around with the thing that beat him first time out. Next time, and he improved in a big way again. So he could, again, improve a bit more. Yeah. And just outrun his odds. He's a 50-1 chance.
And he's another, maybe if you change the trainer, you might knock a few points off the price kind of job, isn't it?
Well, yeah, absolutely.
OK, Savage Ewok goes for Risk Away to win by 2 lengths.
Risk Away? That's an interesting one.
Yeah, Risk Away. Where are we?
What price is that?
80-1 outsider to win by 2 lengths. All right, Savage. I think you've got a little greedy there. Maybe you just go for the win only, I think. But
don't need to lengthen your odds on that one, pal.
Can you imagine if you backed an 80-1 winner at Cheltenham, but they only won by a length and 3/4? Oh, my word. Active Innocence without the fave, says Martin Nolan. And Tom Messenger tipped up Bossman Jack on a preview show the other day, and that might well have impacted it as well. OK, right. Feels like we were a long time on that race, but there are 22 runners in it, so I think it's fairly justified. Moving on then to the Brown Advisory, just a small but select field of, oh God, there's 16 of them. Romeo Coolio is 9-4 favourite here. Final Demand 11-2, Kate Dorothy 13-2, Cocktail Davan 7-1, Wendigo 15-2, and 12-1 bar those. Paul Kealy's favourite horse, currently running over obstacles, is favourite here in the shape of Romeo Coolio. But crikey, is Pricewise Tom 9-4 Romeo Coolio when he wasn't even going to run in this race. He is a remarkable horse. He's the only horse to have won 3 Grade 1s novice chasers before the Cheltenham Festival. Obviously, he's tough as old teak, and since Cargeezy earlier on, everyone thought, did they have a hard race? Or actually, has that set them up perfectly for the festival? But 9-4.
9-4, Ross. And what have we got on for the first time up in trip? Do not like that one bit. The hood for up to 3 miles for the first time at all. I think 9-4 is a ridiculous price. I'm not even sure he's that good. I know he beat Cargeezy.
Whoa, hang on. Keels is going to come round.
I know what Keels thinks. I know what Keels thinks. I'm not convinced myself. I think this is. I mean, also, this race it's about jumping, isn't it?
Hang on, you were year
after year.
Yeah, you took it for the Ryanair, Tom.
Yeah, well, I got it wrong, didn't I? I wouldn't have fancied him for the Ryanair. I mean, at the time, I thought he was a big price, but 9-4, it's all about price, isn't it? He was 25-1 for the Ryanair, and I thought nothing was going to run. I thought it was him versus Hartwood at the time. That would have been a good bet. But 9-4 here in a first-time hood up to 3 miles for the first time is a massive no-no for me. I hope he wins for Keels and all his fans, but no, I don't fancy him at all. And I'd fancy him less. I fancy him more than Final Demand, who I just don't get. I never have got. And the vibes about him aren't great. Kate Doughty might need soft ground. I thought Cocktail Divan was very, very interesting. He got beaten by Romeo Coolio, funnily enough, by a long way on his debut. But I just think he was a totally different horse when he made the running. I'm looking for front runners in this race. I think jumping's so important. So Cocktail Divan, Oscar's Brothers and Western Fold were my 3.
I tell you what, I mean, you talk about Romeo Cocktail Divan for next year's Ryanair. I mean, I don't know how he will perform in this. I have a slight suspicion that he's very, very good and he might get bullied and outstayed by a 3-miler. But yeah, that Leopardstown, he was just electric there, wasn't he? It was just everything. And partly that camera angle sometimes at Leopardstown makes them look even more electric. But he was a joy to watch. And if he can do that again, he's got some chance, hasn't he?
Yeah, and I'm not into the sectionals and the speed figures and the jump indexes and all that nonsense very much, but the comparison with the was it Affordale Fury race on the same day marked him down as a Grade 1 horse without a shadow of a doubt. I think on this ground I don't think 3 miles will be an issue at all, so I'm not worried about the trip. And I think if he got out front jumping like he did the other day, I think he'll win probably.
Yeah, and I was slightly encouraged to see Zurich and Down Mexico Way run really well over fences for Henry as well today. So, like I said, I think it's the past 6 seasons, I think he's had at least 2 graded winners at the festival, despite how badly they run in January and February. Okay, yeah, Romeo Coolio, let's... well, I was going to say the love affair may continue, but... I mean, everything about him and his price, the hood, the race he's running in, all of it surprises me.
Yeah, it's all a massive surprise that he was going to come here. We were pretty much told that there was very little or next to no chance that he was, and then here he is. Now, I think it's going to be the right distance for him in time. I don't like the fact that he had a hard race at Leopardstown, and he's coming here trying something different in the hood. I haven't actually backed him, and I certainly won't at the price he is now. I'm still found a member of the fan club, and I'll be perfectly happy for him to win. Because it will show that he is a top-class horse with potential Gold Cup aspirations next year if he does. But whether it's the right race at the right time, I'm not sure.
Yeah. So I mean, again, because he Final Demand now having a squiggle next to him to a certain extent, Romeo Coolio taking chunks out of the market. Suddenly, there's quite a few big prices here.
Well, yeah, like Tom, I've never liked Final Demand. It's funny, Wendigo was the horse that I always liked for this race. And I still do in certain respects, but I thought Cocktail Dividend was nailed on to win that, Jack Richards. And I had a good bet on him for that, and obviously no bet, thankfully. And I'm just taking it that it's a massive, massive vote of confidence from Henry de Bromhead to come here. I mean, he has pretty much said most of the time that this is the likely target. Yep. And on good ground, I don't think there'll be an issue. He's only beaten 3 lengths by Oscar's brother on bad ground, wasn't he? And his jumping last time was sensational, and he could get a lot of them in trouble. So, yeah, if there was something that was going to shorten up more, I thought it would have been him rather than Romeo Coolio, because he was already put in at 4s when he came up. I didn't really see him getting much shorter. Yeah,
albeit I think again people are still Henry de Bromhead, what's that and the other, and it happens every year, and then he has one winner, and suddenly everyone goes,
but he's already had a couple of months well, isn't he?
Yeah, but even then, they still seem to. I mean, to be fair, he's incredible. Thursday and Friday, his record is phenomenal on the new course, isn't it? So, see, the thing is,
the Carducci thing, isn't it, Ross? It's the Carduci thing as well, isn't it?
Oh yeah, he did look like
when she went in, they bookmakers quite within their eyes knocked a point off his price, didn't they?
Yeah, fair. I mean, all winter I've thought Wendigo should go for the Ultimate and would win, and then Quebecois ran so well earlier on. I thought, well, Wendigo's what? £8 better. I mean, he's a much better British novice than Quebecois. And I kind of after that, I thought, you maybe should have won that. And then I looked at this race again, and I thought, oh, they're going for this because this is also very winnable because there are holes in the others. And I haven't fancied Wendigo for this race all winter. And I looked earlier on, and then I watched back the Albert Bartlett last year, where I mean, he nearly got brought down. He got smashed up. Everything went wrong, and he stayed up on the hill really well.
He's a proper stayer, isn't he? He will be charging up. Whether he'll be close enough.
He's experienced. He jumps well. He definitely stays.
Yeah, no, there's no reason not to like him at all.
Yeah.
And Tom mentioned the other one, Western Fold, is obviously interesting because he's a good ground horse and he's a huge. I thought he'd get shorter than 10s rather than bigger.
Yeah.
Because he's got his ground. I mean, he's won a Galway Plate on decent ground. He's beaten a horse that beat Galloping de Champ this season as well in Affordale Fury in another race. And he ran miles better than I thought he would do when finishing in the front of Final Demand and behind Kay Doughty on bottomless ground at Leopardstown. So whether he's had a hard race there or what, but I just, I'm surprised he's that big.
Also, guys, I mean, this race, I know it like the back of my hand. Is you've seen the real Wacker win, you've seen Lecky Watson win, you see all these horses win. Then no one thinks they're good enough.
No, Boston's Angel. He's always the one for me. I remember saying he'd run 9 times with an overfence, whatever it was, in all these graded races, and people said,
"Who was that? Sorry,
Boston's Angel." A few years ago,
exactly.
No, he's not good enough to win, but he'd done everything he possibly could. He came in here, and this was a breeze to him in comparison.
And that's what I think Western Fold's like, because Western Fold would have better form than any of them. Any of them.
Yeah.
You know, he's won the Galway Plate off 148 by 5 lengths. Do you know what I mean? You know, that he's I don't know what he's rated, 150 something, 158? But
157,
157?
Which is pound off Romeo Coolio.
He's 14 to 1 to win a race when he's already rated 157, and we already know he can jump and he slays. And he loves the trip, so that's a big. They've got to get there, haven't they? They've got to get there, those horses. And this race, I mean, when they've all had 10 runs, I would expect them to be there with him. But in this race, where experience and jumping counts a lot, I think that's a big price about him.
Yeah, agree. And again, you're saying about again, I guess it is a trend, but again, it's when you're talking about profiles. Last 15 years, horses that hadn't won over 3 miles, I went down to 2 mile 7, so roughly thereabouts. 47 runners, 3 winners who'd yet to win over 3 miles. 107 runners and 13. Sorry, that's the last 16 years. So 13 from 107 who have been proven over the trip. So and Western Fold feels like a horse. It's like a kid who's been kept back 2 years at school and then comes to sports day and you think, who is this? So he's he's very experienced, isn't he? Lovely. Right. Okay. That's the Brown advisory then. So just that's 38 runners done. On to the MGM Cup with 24 lining up here. 2 mile 5 furlongs for this handicap hurdle. Stormheart 11-2, Kopek Demi 11-2, the Yellow Clay 15-2, Katira 15-2, Iberico Lord 9s, Put Your Hands Together 10s, Ginkgo Blue 10s, I Started a Joke 10s, and bigger prices the rest, including 40 Coats, who a couple of people have tipped up to me. Farron Glory, who's got graded form. Lucky Place, who's off an interesting mark. Ballyadam, who's 93 years old but seems to place in this race every single year. Beckett Rock ran well in this last year. Colonel Mustard's had a late career resurgence. There's loads in here. But Paul Kealy, you've got 2, one up each sleeve. What do we got? Yeah, 2 that I think have got very solid chances. Ginkgo Blue for Nicky Henderson for 1. I mean, he's pretty good in these handicap hurdles, Henderson, isn't he? And he didn't take to chasing last season, but he still earned himself a mark of 151. And he's come back over hurdles and he's on 144. And I can't believe he's not going to be a better hurdler than he is a chaser. So that just fascinates me. I thought we ran okay both times. First time out over 3 mile behind Electric Mason in that hot race at Haydock. And then second, splitting Cabal de Mathan and Lucky Place in the Rail Kill, and got left on the same mark. Obviously, those 2 are rated roughly 10 pounds better than him. And obviously, Cabal de Mathan's getting back seemingly all the time for the Stayers hurdle now. He's a solid third favourite. I think he's got a right chance. I wouldn't worry too much about James Bowen riding and Nico being on Iberico Lord, because James Bowen is riding Bold Endeavour for the same owners on Thursday when Nico hasn't got a ride in the race. So maybe they prefer him. I don't know. But I think he's got a right chance. And put your hands together. Just like horses that win big races. Let's do as you're told. He won doing handsprings, that Fred Winter last season. Then he won the Irish Says, and you see the change of gear that he showed when he went clear in the Irish Says. Only won by half a length in the end, but he just put the race to bed a couple of furlongs out. It clearly stays well. That's 2 mile 1 furlong, hottest flat handicap of the season anywhere. I think that the second won a Group 3 next time. The third was placed in 2 Group 1s. The 5th was second in the Says at Newmarket. It's a red hot piece of form. He's only run once on bad ground since then over hurdles. I'd paid no attention to that. He's been kept fresh. I think he'll love it. Yeah. Big field, get buried. 5-year-olds in Cheltenham Festival handicaps. Jimmy DeSearle last year. Yep. That kind of thing. Yeah. All right. So 10 to 1, 10 to 1. Put your hands together, Ginkgo Blue. All right. Quickly on the chat. Let's have a look, because the chat are ironically laying into me for not reading the chat, which is a good job I've got the chat open, because if I didn't have it open and wasn't reading the chat, I wouldn't know that you were having a go at me for not reading the chat. So there we go. But what are you saying? You're basically mainly just saying to read the chat. Stuck between Stormheart and Go Back to Me, says Darren Ewan. Frizzy Reds with Yellow Clay. And Sean O'Connor says, what a day I've had. I was stood with Rich Ritchie when Lossie stormed up the hill. He turned around and hugged me. What a bloke. There you go, Sean. Lovely stuff. That's Cheltenham for you, isn't it? That's Cheltenham for you. Chart Topper going well and settled in well. Solid each way, says Martin McDermott. And Thomas Baff, 1492, says, read the chat. Hello, Thomas. Okay, what about the cup? As we will... the bet... No, they've paid. The bet MGM Cup then. Tom, what about you?
Wide open race. I nailed my colours to Stormheart a long time ago when he was 14 to 1, 16 to 1, whatever he was. So I'm sticking with him. I do think the other Willie Mullins horse, Kopek, to me is dangerous. Mark Walsh chooses him, clearly, over Put Your Hands Together. That's not insignificant, although I agree with Keels entirely that Put Your Hands Together obviously has a chance. Bit disappointing the way Joseph's horse ran today, to be honest, but it's only one day and things can change. Jinko Blue's clearly got a chance. Big fan of Iberico Lord. Not convinced. I don't know about the Yellow Clay anymore, but you know, I think there was a lot of deadwood. I think one of those four that we've mentioned will win it. Probably Stormheart.
But you haven't put anything up in the paper.
I put up Kopek to me when it was about 10 to 1. Yeah, but I don't think it was ever 10 to 1 when I looked at it. When it had gone in the paper, I didn't think it was ever 10 to 1. No.
Kopek to me, of course, was. It's funny, isn't it? These whisper horses, these talking horses. It's not necessarily that the whispers and the talk is wrong. It's just it's not when you hear them. It's 12 months. It's 12 months later.
Well, the thing clearly he was 5-2 favourite, was he, for the Martin Pipe last year and finished nearly last. I liked him at Aintree, though. I thought he should have won that Aintree handicap by 5 lengths, really. Mark Walsh tried, because he was so keen at in the Martin Pipe that he settled him. He settled him perfectly, but he settled him miles back, and then he made up, 6-7 lengths on the winner after the last. I think he's got plenty of upside, and he reminds me of last year's winner.
Okay. We talked about Stormheart. I mean, this is another thing, isn't it, Tom? It's been 2 weeks saying to everyone, Stormheart 9-10 to 1. And then you said, yeah, he's definitely going for this race. I said, he's a graded horse in handicap. I love how he finishes this, that, and the other. And now I haven't really backed him at 9 or 10 to 1, and he's 11 to 2.
Exactly.
But I do think he is. Look, again, I mean, he was set off favourite for that Manchester and Cargeezy triumph. And it's just the way he finishes his races, Tom. It's a sign of a real... If you're finishing like that over 2 miles, he's getting a little bit outpaced last time out. Boom, bursts clear over the final hurdle, and yeah, I think he'll love this.
Yeah, I think he's... I mean, the trip's going to be perfect for him. And listen, Paul Townend's brilliant, but I'm certainly not cross that Danny Mullins is riding him. That's for sure. I think Danny Mullins rides Cheltenham as good as anyone.
Yeah. There were a couple of... I mean, again, we're talking about Cheltenham form. There's a couple of horses at very big prices I looked at earlier on. One was Beckett Rock, who was 6th in this race last year for a mark of 140. He's a pound lower this year. And just kind of got shuffled back on the bend, wasn't in a great position, down the middle of the track as well. Just ran perfectly well. But if it runs the same race again, then this looks a weaker contest to me. And Buddy won.
I thought you were going to say Ballyadam then.
Well, I mean, Ballyadam, he's in the play spot. He's got to be, hasn't he?
But, he's got to be in the play spot, hasn't he?
But the younger version of Ballyadam is Buddy One, for me, who the last 2 Cheltenham Festivals finished 5th in last year's Stayers, and the year before finished 4th in the Stayers. And he's here in a handicap hurdle off 149, and he's not even top weight. I mean, he loves it round here.
And you missed out that he was 3rd in the Martin Pipe too, to Iroko.
He was, to Iroko, yeah, that's true.
He's got very good, and he doesn't like jumping. He really, they tried him for far too long over fences. Yeah. He really doesn't take to it that well. So yeah, I could see him running well. It's, as you say, and the 40 Coats ran very well in the, what was it? The Turners last year. It's got the pieces on, those infernal cheek pieces that you love so much, Ross.
I don't love them, but the horses seem to.
Yeah, they love them. They seem to love them. He's interesting. I know a few people tipped him up to me today, and I noticed he was like into 10 to 1 or something when I last looked.
Right, okay, that's plenty against the field then for the Big Field Handicap Hurdle. Katira is basically Langadan 2.0, says Vincenet. Buddy One loves Cheltenham, says Eden JS, and Lone Doge is on Katira at 40 to 1. Unbelievable stuff. Yeah. What can we have a bit of that? Share and show.
How many lengths has he got it to win by?
How many lengths? Yes. Yeah, done a straight trifecta with 4 of the horses as well. But yeah, good luck. Right, the cross country is up next, where we have Favre de Champdou is 5-2 favourite now. Stumptown 11-4, Desert Morehouse 4-1, Fried Lauder 7-1, Vinalier 15-2, The Goffer 14-1, Fakir Udari is 18-1, Pied Piper is 22-1. And Paul Kealy's favourite race of the festival. What's your favourite jump?
Second favourite race. I don't know, what is it? The cheese wedges?
The cheese wedges, yeah.
Why are they called cheese wedges?
You were cutting up some cheese wedges for a sandwich yesterday.
Anything like cheese today? Yeah.
You love a bit of a
rubbish,
cheese wedge. Do you have any opinion whatsoever?
I just thought Final Orders was probably a little bit of a big price, given that the ground is good, rather than last time. Obviously, he hacked up earlier in the season there, and the ground was too soft for him. The next time, I think he was second in an Ulster National at one point on quick ground as well. So that's the sort of ground he likes. I'd imagine he'd get an awful lot closer to Favre de Champdou on revised terms with the ground in his favour. All
right. Whereas Tom, you love a bit of this. It's like having a game of crazy golf halfway through the Masters, but it's never dull, is it? The cross country. What did you like?
To be honest, it's one of those races that nothing ever new seems to come in and win, do they? So I used to like it when you sort of find these nutty ones come out of the pack and win it. But I think with Punchestown and with so many other Cheltenham races, you don't really find, there's nothing that is secret anymore, especially with the top weight keeping so many out the weight. So I thought the Goffer, with the first-time cheek pieces on Ross, might run better than his odds, just simply because he's been staying on.
I feel it's someone been selling a job lot out the back of a van.
That's what I'm thinking. That's what I'm thinking. I think when... who was obviously he's lost his mouth this time.
Masborough, was it? Masborough at the DRF, did that spark it?
Masborough, all of a sudden, when Winnie Mullins does something, everyone does it, don't they?
Yeah.
And I think that's what's happened, is that all of a sudden, these cheek pieces are supposedly making horses run a lot faster. Yeah. I think Lossy Mouth would have won by about 10 lengths with cheek pieces or no cheek pieces myself.
But make a case for the Goffer then.
He's just run well before, and he's staying a lot better these days. He was fourth in the race last year, but if you watch the race, he came from absolutely miles back. Now, he's a bit out the handicap this year, but he's got Josh Williamson taking the 5 off. I mean, I haven't backed him, I haven't tipped him. I'll have a few quid on him tomorrow. If he's around 14, 16 to 1, I just thought he could run well. Put it like that. It's not a race I've had too much time over, because like Keels says, we have so much to do around Cheltenham that we can't look at all these races, and this is the one race that got short shrift from me.
I think it's stupid as well. Why does it have to be a limited handicap? Why do we have a limited weight range for this handicap? 11.10 instead of 12 stone and 10.5 instead of 10.2. What's the point in that? None whatsoever, other than keep horses, because they're always going to run top staying chasers in it. There's always going to be a few that are high up there, and other horses, you're going to have horses out of handicap here every single year. I don't see any reason for it whatsoever. Don't tell me that it's the long distance of the race or anything, because they spin round at half speed for the entire 48 minutes that they run, and weight doesn't seem to matter. In fact, there have been some 2.5 mile, and Guard Champetre become a proper specialist at that. He was a 2.5 mile horse, and if you look at them, there's one of those Fakir Dudaris, 4-time Grade 1 winner. 10 stone 7, 22 to 1, decent ground. Got to Ender Bolger, who was an absolute superstar in these sort of races. Could just run very well, couldn't
he? Second start for Ender, yeah, fair enough at 11 years old. And as you were saying that, Fakir Dudaris still well handicapped, says Caleb Donnelly as well. And Jim Stan says Keels needs cheek pieces to turn those seconds into winners. Well, if you saw the photo,
absolutely right.
Photo I tweeted out earlier on, then we gave him a go.
Yeah, I fell in him on the way from the other building, though. That was the problem.
And again, of course, tomorrow is the Pertemps, and I'll be doing the show in first-time tongue tie in honour. It's going to really ruin the broadcast, but it'll be fun. Let's move on to the feature race of day 2. Then it is, of course, the Queen Mother Champion Chase. And here we are again with an odds-on shot in the Champion Chase in a Grade 1 over 2 miles. And everyone will say, yeah, but some good horses are this, that, and the other, and so on and so forth. But your Duvans, your Shishkins, your El Fabiolos last year, plenty of other top-class horses have been beaten in this race because, regardless of your quality, it is a jumping test at an incredibly high speed. And often the older you get, the more savvy you get over those fences. So young odds-on shots could be vulnerable. Majborough's here as a 6-year-old, having thrown away the Arkle last year, having ploughed through the last 2 fences. But he did absolutely bolt up in the aforementioned first-time cheap pieces at the DRF by the best part of 19 lengths, and he's 4-5 favourite. Il Était Tomp is 9-2 to put his Cheltenham Hoodoo to bed. L'Eau de Sud loves it round here at 5-1. Quilixios, where's he been since last year? Well, at home, I imagine. He's 10-1. Irish Panther did what Romeo Coolio might have done, according to Tom, and skipped Novice Company and gone into Open Company, and it's 33-1 bar those. But here we go. Debate possibly over the week. The Majborough debate. If he turns up, the same horse turns up last time and does the same thing, he wins. Well, of course, but why might he not do that?
Well, the cheating places might not work again. I mean, the ground's a lot faster than last time. I mean, I think he will do it. I think he's shown enough to show us that he has got that ability if he gets it right, and he jumps so straight and true at Leopardstown. I think he probably will do it. And to me, that was like a top-end Grade 1 performance that was last time. And if he does that again, he'll win. But obviously, we've seen how many short-price horses have got beaten in this. I mean, some of them, you've got to remember, some of them just went wrong. Yeah. Rather than, you know, your Duvans, your Shishkin, your Defi de Soy, etc. There's nothing actually to do with jumping. But plenty of others have failed the test, and he did fail the test in the Arkle last year. So if you want to oppose him, you've got that in your locker. But I think he'll probably win. I would have liked the ground softer for L'Eau de Sud myself, and Il Était Tomp has had his jumping issues around here. I thought he looked superb when he won at Sandown, but next time at Ascot, he's got to come over, he's got to get over that, and he hasn't jumped brilliantly when he's run at Cheltenham, and that would be the up for me. I don't see where the rest are in it. I mean, Irish Panther's the spoiler, I suppose, couldn't he? Yeah. If he goes out front, you know, up alongside Majborough or even in front of him. But Majborough seemed to enjoy being out in front on his own. But I think he'll win. Just think he's got a lot of class.
You think he'll win, but again, I'm not saying he's a good price by any stretch of the imagination, but I don't know. I don't know what I'm asking. I mean,
no idea what you're on about.
You think he'll win, but
I think he'll win.
Is there any angle in here at all?
No, he's borderline even money, right? If you gave me 50 quid and you said you've got to bet on it, I would put that on him rather than back something else against it.
Yeah.
Right. But if it's my own money, I'm just not going to have a bet.
Yeah, fair enough. Okay. That's the answer to the question I didn't know I wanted to ask. Tom, what do you think?
I'm going to say this very quietly because there's two things that you haven't mentioned. One is that there's no way Keels doesn't have a bet in any race. and secondly, what everyone forgets is what a ridiculous track Cheltenham is. Yeah, it's absolutely absurd, isn't it? You watch it on the drone overhead, and they whip round that bend and hit the second last. And races like the Arkle. The horse that jumped the best won. Yeah, we see it every single time. We see it every single year. It's not about ability in some of these races. It's about rhythm and jumping, and that's why he can lose. I personally don't think he will. I think he'll be fine because I think he's too good for them. But he can lose. Of course, he can lose. It's Cheltenham at the end of the day. If this was around Leopardstown, I think he'd be 1-4 to win this. I really do. I think it's Cheltenham that's the issue with some of these races because I think it's just up and down, twisty, turny. It's a bit like Goodwood on the Flat. It's not my cup of tea at all. But I think he's by far the best horse, and I think he'll win. I think L'Eau de Sud is the danger because I think he's the best jumper in the field, and I don't think it's very close.
So right. So the thing, again, that looking at this race, because, I mean, partly I didn't think he'd turn up anyway, but we're talking about horses that... Majborough, he didn't jump very well last year in the Arkle, and we're talking about the track. Il Était Tomp is And look, obviously the rating after Majborough last time out, but to me, Ilete Tom is the best 2 mile chaser in here. Yeah. You don't see horses win grade 1 after grade. You don't see a line of ones like that with horses who run in this grade. He's a little terrier. He jumps like a rabbit. He stays. He's got a cruising speed to die for. He's been to Cheltenham multiple times, and it hasn't come off. And obviously, he had a bit of a harrowing experience last time at Ascot, where he never seemed to be going from the get-go. And obviously, if you get out of a rhythm at Ascot, you're in a bit of trouble. But I don't know. But he's bloody good, Tom. So is the Cheltenham? Is there a possibility that he puts that hoodoo behind him, or
of course there is?
Is it just done?
No, of course there is. Of course there is. We saw Brighter Days Ahead ran perfectly well, didn't she, at Cheltenham today? Mm. She ran probably one of her best races, bar that win over State Man at Leopardstown last year. I mean, I think we get overblown from limited evidence. Look, he's never been at his best, but that's not to say that one day he couldn't get it right. You know what I mean? We've seen loads of horses have run well at Cheltenham or run seemingly badly at Cheltenham and then just turn up and win occasionally. It does happen. Off the top of my head, I can't think of one, but it does happen. And there is a chance he could bounce back.
Well, actually, to be fair, in this Captain Guinness had a torrid time around Cheltenham, and then he popped up and won a champion chase.
Oh, yeah,
there is some examples of this happening over the years. So it's not without. The only thing I've got against him is he's going to be parked out the back, isn't he? Yeah. And I think that's a problem around Cheltenham for him, because he then has to jump well to make up that ground. Do you know what I mean? If Majborough jumps well from the front and he'll have Tom's 8 lengths behind him, he's not going to jump well enough to make up any ground. Whereas Lodesud could do that, is what I think about these races. And that's why I would make him the danger rather than Ilete Tom. But in terms of natural ability, I think Ilete Tom is as good as any of them.
And then one more, again, Captain Guinness's profile before he won a champion chase at Cheltenham was brought down, 3rd beaten 13 lengths, 2nd beaten 10 lengths, then won a champion chase. Now, I don't think, despite the first-time cheap pieces, that he'll bounce back at the age of 11. However, a 2-year younger, almost identical profile to Captain Guinness is Calixios, Tom, who you backed last year, if I remember rightly. He hasn't been seen since. But if he'd have stood up and he'd come off the back of that, we'd be saying, well, last year's second in the race is double-figure odds.
Yeah, just we haven't seen him, have we? I mean, it's getting, as I said yesterday, it's getting a bit like Royal Ascot, isn't it? We haven't seen him since. We haven't seen... we just don't see these horses very much these days. It tends to be the thing to come to Cheltenham really fresh with only a few runs, and then they can go to entry and punch down on these sort of things. So many of these horses we don't get to see. Of course, if he bounces back to where he was last year, but it's a bit of guesswork. Obviously, I don't think he would have won last year, and he was firmly put in his place by Ilete Tom in the Tingle Creek. But he's a very good horse with a very good Cheltenham record. So, yeah, he could run well.
All right, okay. Sorry, we just these bar stools are causing absolute havoc with me and Keel's off camera, so you keep talking, Tom. But
I'll be stuck to it when we turn this off.
Yeah. Oh my word. Right. Keel's any other thoughts on the feature tomorrow?
No, Majborough will win.
Fair enough. That's a man who really wants to sit on a cushion.
That's it.
All right, that's it now, you guys. I am rattling on for as long as I possibly can now.
7 minutes left.
Eggy Cress has agreed, Ross. Ilete Tom, the best horse in the race. Alan Keane agrees on that as well. And what else have we got? Rompingham says Sean Bowman is an interesting booking for Liberty Hunter. And if you want a pieces horse, found a 50, beat Majborough and Dina Blue over 2 miles, second in Arkle, 5th last year. Albeit Paul's already said that if he did found a 50, he would put it on Majborough, as it were.
He needs a bog found a 50.
Yeah, he does. But again, he's just one of those ones. He'll run into 4th or something, won't he? But to be fair, we said that about Holloway Queen, didn't we?
I don't remember.
Well, we said she needed a bog, and she bolted up.
That is true.
Yeah. Anyway, all right, okay. 2 more races to go. If you are watching live, or if you're not watching live, if you're watching at 3 a.m. in the morning because you can't sleep, whatever you're doing, make sure you've subscribed to the Racing Post YouTube channel and you like this stream right now as well. And producer Sam has also asked me to give a big shout out to all the team who are doing hard work on the YouTube Shorts, the TikToks, and the Instagrams, as I sound like I'm 78 years old. So the team in the last 6 months have worked really hard. There's loads of content going out there. So if you have a very short attention span, which I know I do, then get involved and go and see there. You don't have to watch an hour-long show. You can just get that.
1:18 I woke up last night.
That's quite late for you.
After 2 hours sleep, and I haven't been back to bed since.
Have you not?
Well, I couldn't sleep.
Deary me. Deary me.
I'm flagging.
This is the thing. Part of the reason Keels does so much work on these races is because he's awake for 22 hours a day. Last couple of races then at Cheltenham on day 2. The Grand Annual is up next. We have a 11-2 favourite in the shape of Be Aware. 7-1 is Jazzy Matty. 7-1 Van der Poel. 15-2 in the pocket. 8-1 Release the Beast. 8-1 Ryan's Rocket. And 10-1 Bar Those. And if you are in the chat and you've got Be Aware, Supremely West and Madara in a multiple bet, do get in touch so we can be both jealous and I don't know, appalled perhaps. But yeah, Be Aware, the Skeltons, masters at this, Tom. But to be fair, you could say the same about quite a few other horses in here. What stood out?
Yeah, obviously. What's the bet, or what do I think about Be Aware? I couldn't quite hear you there, Ross.
Well, both of those questions, and you can start with whichever one you prefer.
Be Aware, obviously, he's got a good chance. Ran well in the Coral Cup last year. I think he's obviously been training for the races at Skelton, so, you know, seen it before a million times. Unexpected Party was very similar. He won it 2 years ago and was second last year. So, yeah, like him as one of the things. In terms of a bet, I have backed one right down the bottom, Break My Soul, for Ian Donoghue at a big price. She ran behind. She was good for Nicky Henderson, actually, and won some good races for Nicky Henderson at Ascot and places. And then went to Ian Donoghue, and she ran against Lossiemouth and Constitution Hill and horses like that in Grade 1s at Aintree and Punchestown, and was far from disgraced. I think she came fourth both times, but she's a 2-miler on good ground, and she jumps really well. I just thought at a price in a race that might suit her, provided she doesn't sit out the back. I don't think she will. I thought Sam Ewing was a good jockey booking. And the trainer has a very good record in handicaps. He got Dunboyne back to win. Lisner Malt Lad should have won at Cheltenham Aintree. Don't remind me of the big race and had won at Cheltenham.
Oh yeah, that was on the elbow. It was happening, wasn't it? But then
it got hampered 3 times by loose horses and beaten by one of JP's. Brilliant. So I like Ian Donoghue a lot, and for these races, so I just thought she was 25-33 to 1. I thought I had a few quid on her in what is a very hard race.
Yeah, very hard race indeed. Again, track position, Tom. It's huge anyway, but we've seen countless times in this race in particular. After the first fence, you might be screwing your slip up.
Yeah, I mean, we saw that in the plate today, didn't we? With that ridiculous start again, where half the field are out of it. Do you know what I mean? From the word go, I know Madara was just obviously going to win whatever happened, but half the field were out of the race before they'd even jumped the first. So that's what's going to happen here. You just got to hope you're on the right side of it. All
right. What about the Grand Annual's been good to you in the past, Keels?
Yeah, at times, yeah, but good and bad.
Yeah.
Good and bad. I had Next Sensation for Absolute Fortunes one year, and he won it the following year, unfortunately.
Yeah.
I had Le President for a few quid one year, and he won it the following year again, unfortunately. So,
well, that is the question. What did you back last year?
I have backed winners of it. I can't remember what I backed last year. Oh, Jazzy Matty might win it again. There you go. He was all right. Yeah, it's not been a great race for me this year because I backed 2 horses anti-post, and they were numbers 21 and 22 when the decks were made, and no non-runners, first and second reserves, they're out.
Oh, the producers are toying with your emotions there.
Yeah, absolutely. Put it in there, didn't they? The thing about Be Aware at the head of the market, I think they thought he was going to be a bit better, but he's actually been very honestly campaigned all year, and that's as good as he is. And I think you need to be £10 better to win one of these. And so I'm not sure he is. I'm not sure he's the right one for the Skeltons, this race anyway. I started looking. One of the horses I backed was Golden Joy, and he was number 22. But when the decks came out, Jack Kennedy was always going to be on relieved of duty. So I started having a proper look at him, and I did look back at that time when he was second to Al Nilam at Cheltenham, and he was basically miles off the pace. It was a nice look at the track, and he came through he finished second. He was like best part of 10, 11 lengths ahead of Adrigal, I think, who then came out and won, and then finished third to Jacob's Ladder at the DOF, and is now £9 worse off for 10, 11 lengths, and they're the same price, and he's finished beaten on both starts since. In fact, hasn't beaten a horse. I actually thought he was quite eye-catching last time, even though he was last of 4 at Punchestown. But again, that's heavy ground. He doesn't really want that. He wants decent ground. And yeah, I think this might have been the plan for quite a while. So I ended up having a few quid on it in my price.
All right. Okay, lovely stuff. Special Cadeau is a lovely each-way bet, says David Watkins. Big Shugs back to Ballysax Hank, anti-post, but thinks it's a bit of a wimp. Fair enough. And done a Skelton Hines, but left out Be Aware, says Adrian Boyle. Just cannot see him winning. Well, let's hope you are right for your sake. Anyway, Adrian, with that one for the Grand Annual. Last race then on day 2 is the bumper. Keel's second favourite race of the meeting. Love Sign Danu is 9-2 favourite. The Morn Rambler 13-2. Keep Him Company 15-2. Quiddin is 8. Base Hunter 9s. The Irish Avatar 9s. It's only a game 12s. Our Trigger is 12-1. And it is bigger prices the rest then here for the bumper. Tom, we better go to you whilst Keels has a grumble.
Yeah, I don't mind the bumper. I backed the Morn Rambler at 16-1 a few weeks ago, and I'm quite happy with him. Noel Mead's more of a flat trainer these days, and this is a flat race, funnily enough. And Brooke Colin Keane, I'm not sure that's a good thing or a bad thing for a jump race, but just liked him at Leopardstown. Thought that form's as good as anything on offer. He's now down to a whatever price, 13-2 there. Love Sign Danu is obviously dangerous, but it was heavy ground. It was really bad ground he won in. The form looks okay. I mean, there's a couple of horses that were miles behind him have run well in maiden hurdles and hurdles since, so he could be the thing, but it's a totally different game on this ground. I thought Base Hunter or Bass Hunter, I don't know which one it is actually.
Depends if you like fish or dancing, I guess.
Yeah. And he's better than he showed, a lot better than he showed at Ascot last time. I could see him running well, but the other one I thought was right down the bottom. The mare that cost about £1 million from France or something. The Skelton's mare that I'm not even going to try and mention.
Mettons Sécheux.
What does that mean?
It means I don't know.
She had some very good form in front. They get a lot of weight, the mares. What have we seen today?
Yeah.
A lot of mares winning. Now, the Trends boys, Ross, will tell you that a 4-year-old mare can't win this, but I think that's a load of old rubbish. If she's good enough, she'll win. And I would be interested to see what price she starts, because if she's a big drifter, then obviously that's no good. But if there's a bit of money around for Mettancier, or whatever it's called, I'd give her a chance.
Yeah, that's the one. Well done. Lovely stuff. Let's have a look. Mares have a very fair record, is what I've got here. On,
not 4-year-olds, though.
And got some, yeah,
Not
4-year-olds. Well, 4-year-olds in general, I guess. Q-Card being the last one, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
That's ridiculous, though, isn't it? Can someone explain that to me? If it was a flat race and 4-year-olds were taking, no one would ever say a 4-year-old can't win, and they wouldn't be getting any weight. Yet in bumpers, they get like stone. She's getting a stone and something.
Yeah, but these are backward horses rather than horses that started racing at 2, didn't they?
But not all of them. Not all of them. It doesn't mean if you've got a forward-going 4-year-old getting a stone, it's surely an advantage.
Could be. Don't know. Don't care. It's a bumper.
Yeah.
Is there any point in
Well,
asking you?
I mean, when I was at the DOF, there was loads of money and loads of words for Charismatic Kid of Gordon Elliott's, and he hadn't had it that long. And I did see Jamie Codd at a preview saying that it had come on a ton and they all saw a lot of it, and he said I'd stick with it, was what he said. So that'll do for me, because I'm not going to look at it myself.
All right, fair enough. Yeah, I liked it, yeah. And David Watkins says, Mettons Ceinture means put your belt on. Presumably so the bookies don't take your trousers down. But anyway, right. Okay, so that's day 2 then, done and dusted. We'll have a very quick recap and the naps in a second, but don't forget we've got a Racing Post Plus offer as well. 50% off Racing Post Plus until the 20th of March, which is in 10 days. You get great value, all the top tipping, including the man to my left and the man who is at home. And you get insights, articles, you name it. And is that in the link in the description? There you go. Links in the description for you. Right, okay. So I thought the recap worked really well last night, Tom. So let's do it again, shall we? And we'll start with you because you need to show you're the big boy, showing the younger lad how it's done. Keel's over here. So let's start off.
First of all, I'm not the big man when Keels is concerned, and I'm younger than him. So you got to both of them wrong.
Well, you are the big man. You're 8'3", aren't you? So this, but if you, which apparently. The Turners then, right? Okay, let's start off. Turners selection and one sentence on why.
Just it's a price thing. I think the British prices are too short. I was on Active Innocence and Bossman Jack, but I switched to Sortudo, and I'll sort that.
Okay, Brown Advisory.
Brown Advisory. I'm just into horses that are going to get jumping out front and jump well. So Cocktail Divan and Western Fold.
Bet MGM Cup.
Stormheart.
Cross country?
No, really, real idea, but I might throw a few quid at the golfer.
All right. Feature race, the Champion Chase?
I think Margeborough will win, but I'm going to stick with my anti-post selection, which was Lotuswood.
All right. And the Grand Annual?
I'm going for Break My Soul, a bit of a risky one, down the bottom, Break My Soul, and the Morn Rambler in the Weatherby's Champion Bumper. The final selection, Ross.
The Morn Rambler for Noel Mead and Colin Keane.
Correct.
Which again, as if it's, I don't know, Killarney or something rather than Cheltenham. But you never know. You never know. Right, Paul Kealy, Turners.
Yeah, Bossman Jack. Just thought it was a big improver. A bit disappointed in the price now, but stick with it.
Brown Advisory.
Cocktail Divid do like that. Jump really well from the front.
All right, Bet MGM.
Put your hands together. Class wins big races. Jinko Blue has to be well handicapped.
Cross country.
Final orders like the ground.
The Champion Chase.
Madsborough wins if he jumps like he did last time. Think he probably will.
All right, Grand Annual.
Relieved of duties. Liked his run here early in the season. Think it might have been a plan.
And the Champion Pumper.
Charismatic kid, because I saw someone else say it was all right.
Love it. Absolutely love it. All right, okay. And I'll go, the Turners, I think Sortudo and I'll sort that have been very, very interesting from the get-go, and the prices are still very tasty. I thought that form last time out was pretty damn good. Brown Advisory, I think Wendigo has got a monstrous chance. Oscar's brother might run well from the front as well, but yeah, I think Wendigo have come very much around to him at the track. MGM Cup, I think Stormheart is a great horse in a handicap, but I do think Buddy One in particular will run well at big prices. The cross country, it'll be fun to watch. The Champion Chase, I just want Ilite, Tom. He's the best horse in here. He's just so good. Come on. Let's do it. Round the track for the first time. The Grand Annual, not for me. No, thank you. I'll leave it to the handicap chase specialist. The bumper. I love flat racing, but not this either. So,
You're allowed to have no selection. What's all that about?
I'm the presenter.
That's not, yeah.
So,
That's not. You're allowed to do that. Come on, give us a bumper winner, Ross. Come on, just say your name. Come on. I want to hear it.
Look, I mean, to be honest with you, I was fairly impressed with Base Hunter. The problem is that all the horses I like all ran in heavy ground last time out, and I'm not sure. But then no, keep him company. Didn't actually did a half decent figure last time out. Quickened up well on good ground. Most of these have only got heavy ground form. How's that?
I do.
Perfect. Well done.
Grand Annual.
Why didn't you do that first time instead of wimping out?
It's just to really annoy you, Tom.
You succeeded.
So, yeah, there you go. And it worked. Matt Jennings says, Bossman Jack will not win with 7 down thumbs. Okay, Matt, fair enough. Bossman Jack is a mad price. I wouldn't back it at 33-1. What's going on with the Bossman Jack thing at the end? And Big Shug says, Liverpool ruining the football coupon. That's what I get. So there you go. Lovely stuff. No drama this end is the nap for Matt Jennings. And Eggy Crest, anything you fancy for a play spot, Ross? Again, the PlaySpot banker did go in today, didn't it? So I will be, the two in the turners. I'll sort that and Sortudo and Oscar's brother and Wendigo in the Brown Advisory will be going in as well. So there you go. Right, Paul Kealy.
There you go.
You've got 8 hours of sleep to make up.
I have, yeah.
Yeah. And Tom Segal, thanks ever so much.
Thanks, guys. See you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow for more of the same. Like, subscribe, get involved, and have a good night's sleep and wake up fresh for Champion Chase Day. And we'll see you tomorrow night to look back and then get excited about the Stayers Hurdle and the Ryanair. Good night.
Cheers, guys.